Okay, so I was saved on November 6th, 2022. I grew up in the Catholic Church, and I went to church every Sunday morning. My parents that was just a thing that every Catholic did. And I remember, like, when I got old enough, you would fight with your parents, like, I don't want to go to church, I don't want to go to church. And so we finally just stopped going. And then as soon as I could drive in high school, I was like, okay, well, I want to start getting back in my faith. I can drive myself to church. I'm gonna start going again. And then, so I went to church, Catholic school, did all the things. And then it wasn't until my senior year of high school, I met someone in Bolivia and she invited me to Redemption Church. And I was really hesitant. I was like, I do not want to go, because I was so used to my Catholic church. And so she came to my church, and I came to Redemption. And I remember going to Redemption, and my whole life like changed. I was like, what is this? People are, their hands are in the air, people are singing, like praising the Lord. I was like, this is so weird. And so I started going with Olivia every Sunday. And then fast forward a year, and I remember talking to Pastor Byron, because I always heard, people say the saving thing, and I was like, what does that mean? Because in the Catholic Church, it's kind of just baptism saves you. And so I was like, what does that mean? So I remember going to Pastor Byron, and I was like, I really just want to be saved. Like, I really just want to give my life to the Lord. He explained it to me, if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus is Lord, you will be saved. And I was like, so that's what that means. And so I remember praying with Pastor Byron, and I was like, I want to give my life to the Lord. Like, I know Jesus is Lord. I know all the good things he does for me. It's insane. Too many to count. And so we prayed, and then I gave my life to the Lord. And I know my God has abundant grace, and yeah, he's just so good. So even though I gave my life to the Lord, over, almost 2 years ago, I don't think I really started walking with the Lord. I obviously knew, Jesus is Lord and all of that, but I wasn't pursuing my faith as much as I should. And especially growing up in the Catholic Church, it's always just a religion. It's never a relationship. I never understood that difference until I started finally walking with the Lord. I was like, oh, like he's like a friend. He's, my father, like a dad is. And so learning that difference, that made it so much easier to actually walk with the Lord and pursue him. And then I actually went to a conference in December, and that completely changed my life, because I'd never been to a conference before, and I felt so much conviction because it had talked about like being an outward inward Christian or an inward outward Christian. And that convicted me so much, because I was like, I'm living as an outward inward Christian. Like, everybody sees me as this Christian girl, but I'm not walking with the Lord. I'm not pursuing him day in, day out. And so that really hit me, that really convicted me. And once I realized that and I prayed on it, the Lord has revealed so much to me, like that he wants that relationship with me. He wants to pursue me day in, day out. I don't know, that changed my whole life. And just again, praying for that relationship to God and it being just so easy. I don't know. It's an indescribable feeling. Just, I don't know. Yeah. I would say, I don't know, everybody says this, but pray. I don't know, God always amazes me through prayer. Like, I was never intentional with prayer before being saved. It was almost just like a, prayer before bed. But, I have a prayer board now, and just seeing how God moves through prayer it's unbelievable. So just prayer, and then also I would say community, because like finding community at Redemption and, in college was so important to me, and it has helped me so much, like in my walk with the Lord, and just learning more about my faith and like what I wanted to know, what I needed to know, like all the things. It has helped me so much in my walk. So prayer and community. would be, I would say. There's so many. There's so many. Okay, Olivia, obviously, because I would not know anything like about my faith and walking with the Lord if it wasn't for her. My friend Emma back home, she's been like the biggest help in college. Peyton, obviously, and my parents, even though they aren't believers, but they're just big supporters in my life, and they support me in everything I do in my faith and everything. And then the Jamesons, everyone at Redemption, Pastor Byron, for being mentors, Hannah, Daniel, like they have just been like my rock and have helped me so much. Definitely being consistent in the Word, but also especially, I think this is my biggest thing, is especially being on a college campus, but speaking boldly about my faith, because I mean college is just, you meet so many different people, and mostly, you know, non-Christians, and it can be very hard to talk about the gospel sometimes. So just being bold about it, and then also knowing like my scripture, not just saying nonsense and like, oh, God is so good, but like actually here's why he is so good, you know. But just, you know, to unbelievers, just speaking truth to them, that would be my biggest thing. James 1:2-4. Consider it a great joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you experience various trials, because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance, and let endurance have its full effect, so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. That's so good.